One of the biggest storylines on Sister Wives season 19 has centered around Christine and David Woolley's wedding. Many viewers felt like the pair rushed things, and so did the children. Peyton and Ysabel Brown have been among their mother's most vocal critics. But in Sunday night's new episode, Isabel revealed her true thoughts about David Woolley. See what the TLC star had to say. Isabel Brown came to love her new stepfather. When Christine Brown left Kody, she knew she wanted to find a new husband someday. But she didn't imagine it would happen so quickly. Although the Woolleys rushed their relationship, they knew they'd both found their true loves. Isabel Brown admitted she struggled with accepting the situation at first, but like everyone else, she came around. During Sunday night's episode, Christine's daughter shared the moment she knew David would make a good husband. "We were out of town and he looked at you and he was like, 'Oh, I love you so much,'" Isabel told her mother during the touching scene. "Like just honest and pure. And I've never heard somebody say, 'I love you' that much to you. When David first proposed to my mom, I thought it was very soon. I thought it was too soon," Isabel continued during a confessional. "But I think I've had time to, adjust to it." She added that seeing how much David and Christine loved each other convinced her they made the right choice. Now, Isabel couldn't be happier for them. "I think that I've gotten time to get to know David and to get to know him, as a father, and as someone who's just a really awesome guy," Isabel shared. "I couldn't imagine life without him now." David Woolley absolutely adores children. As Sister Wives viewers have seen on screen, David Woolley is great with kids. Christine even added that he threw his back out playing with his grandchildren before their wedding ceremony. Fans have also enjoyed seeing him step in as a father to Truly Brown, Christine's youngest daughter. Kody always claims he puts his minor children first, but he conveniently leaves Truly out of that statement. Fans agree she's better off with David as a father figure in her life. What do you think about Isabel Brown's description of life with David as a stepdad? Do you think he's a much better father figure than Kody Brown? Leave your own thoughts and ideas in the comments below. Be sure to follow TV shows Ace Online to keep up with more Sister Wives news and updates. Catch new episodes at 10 p.m. Eastern Time Sunday nights on TLC. Since the Sister Wives family's introduction to viewers, the lives of Kody Brown and his 4 wives, Mary, Janelle, Christine, and Robyn, have been chronicled in detail, showing the complexities of polygamy and the dynamic family relationships. Among the children in the Brown family, Isabel Brown, Christine's daughter, has often been in the spotlight due to her relationships with her family and her evolving life. Recently, Isabel has faced a significant life change as she adjusted to living with her mom's new partner, David, after Christine's separation from Kody. Fans have been curious about how Isabel has navigated this shift, and her journey provides insight into the broader challenges of growing up in a polygamous family, particularly during times of change. In this piece, we explore Isabel Brown's new life as she adjusts to David and her evolving sense of identity. A new chapter, the split from Kody. The breakup between Christine and Kody Brown was a pivotal moment in Sister Wives history. For years, the tensions in Christine and Kody's marriage had been apparent, but the eventual split in 2021 left the family in an emotional upheaval. Isabel, who had been part of the family dynamic for years, faced the reality of her mother's decision to leave Kody and seek a new life. While viewers saw Christine's emotional relief, they also witnessed the challenges that her children, including Ysabel, would have to face. Isabel, in particular, had her own emotional journey to navigate, as she had been close to her mother, but had also shared a bond with Kody and the other siblings. As Christine and Kody's relationship unraveled, Ysabel found herself having to deal with the impact of her mother's choice. This breakup was more than just the end of a marriage. It was the unraveling of a family structure that Isabel had known her entire life. Yet through it all, Isabel demonstrated resilience as she began to adjust to a new family dynamic, transitioning into a new role. For Isabel, the changes didn't stop at her mother's breakup with Kody. Christine soon entered into a relationship with David, a man she had been dating since her split from Kody. David was not a stranger to the Brown family, but the idea of him becoming a more permanent fixture in Christine's life, and by extension in Isabel's, was a significant adjustment. For Isabel, this shift was a challenge on multiple fronts. One of the most notable aspects of Isabel's adjustment was her evolving relationship with David. As Christine's partner, David became an important figure in Isabel's life, even though they were not yet at the stage of blending their lives completely. Isabel was no longer just adjusting to her mother's relationship with David, but also to the presence of a new man in the family. Unlike the dynamic with Kody, David's role in the family was distinct. Christine's separation from Kody meant that David was stepping into a new and unfamiliar role for Isabel and her siblings. In the early stages, Isabel, like many children in a blended family, experienced some emotional distance as she tried to figure out how to connect with David. Adjusting to a new partner in her mother's life often meant finding a balance between respecting his role in Christine's life, while also navigating her own feelings about the changes in her family. She was also adjusting to the reality that her mother's decision to leave Kody had reshaped her family dynamic. For Isabel, this wasn't just about integrating a new partner. It was about redefining her family in a way that would require emotional maturity and time. A shift in family dynamics. As Christine and David's relationship progressed, Isabel's experience of family changed. While Kody was still a part of her life, his role in the family had significantly diminished. For Isabel, this period of adjustment wasn't simply about transitioning to a new home or new people. It was about reconciling her past relationship with Kody and understanding the role he would play in her life going forward. Watching her mother grow and evolve without Kody was eye-opening, and it forced Ysabel to consider how her own identity and family structure would be impacted by these changes. The adjustment also meant that Ysabel was no longer part of a polygamous family where Kody's presence was at the center of everything. The relationships with Kody's other wives, especially Robyn, were no longer as central to her day-to-day life. This shift provided Ysabel with an opportunity to reevaluate her relationships with each family member, particularly in the context of a single-marriage family model. While Isabel wasn't part of a traditional nuclear family, she began to experience what it felt like to have more defined and singular relationships with her mother and David. Isabel was at an age where she was also transitioning into adulthood and seeking more independence. This period of adjustment not only involved processing her mother's relationship with David, but also learning how to be more self-sufficient and define herself outside of the polygamous framework she grew up with. The transition in family dynamics required Isabel to rely more on her own emotional resources, as she no longer had the daily structure of multiple mothers and siblings under one roof. Isabel's decision to pursue her own goals, including her education and eventual career aspirations, also played a significant role in her evolving sense of self. While adjusting to David was a part of the process, Isabel's own desires and independence became more apparent as she focused on her future. This newfound independence from the family structure allowed her to grow as an individual while navigating the complexities of her relationships. However, growing independence also meant that Isabel had to process some difficult emotions related to her family. Watching her mother form a relationship with someone else while Kody's influence waned in her life, wasn't always easy. As she sought more autonomy, she was also coming to terms with the fact that her family was no longer the same. The absence of Kody, the dissolution of Christine's marriage, and the introduction of David all played into Ysabel's evolving understanding of her place in the world. Building a relationship with David. Despite the challenges that come with adjusting to a new partner in a blended family, Isabel began to see David in a new light. Initially, Isabel may have seen David as a figure who was replacing Kody in Christine's life. But over time, she grew to appreciate him for who he was, not as a substitute for her father, but as an individual who had come into her mother's life at a difficult time. David's calm demeanor and supportive nature provided a stabilizing influence during this transitional period, and Isabel slowly began to form a bond with him. One of the key aspects of Ysabel's relationship with David was their shared understanding of Christine's emotional journey. David was supportive of Christine's decision to leave Kody and had accepted her children, including Ysabel, as part of his life. This acceptance and willingness to build a relationship with Isabel made the adjustment easier over time. It wasn't about replacing Kody. It was about creating a new chapter in her family's story that allowed room for growth, new connections, and healing. As Christine and David continued to deepen their relationship, Isabel's role within that dynamic began to evolve. Rather than viewing David as an outsider or a temporary figure, Isabel was learning to see him as someone who was now an integral part of her life, even if he wasn't yet a father figure in the traditional sense. Their relationship was grounded in respect, and Isabel's adjustment to this new chapter was an ongoing process of mutual understanding. Moving forward, Isabel's journey of adjusting to her new life with David and navigating the changes in her family has been a testament to her resilience and maturity. While the transition has been filled with challenges, it has also presented opportunities for growth and self-discovery. As she continues to forge her own path and build meaningful relationships, Isabel has shown that, despite the complexities of growing up in a polygamous family, she is capable of navigating the changes with grace. In the years to come, it will be interesting to see how Isabel's relationship with David evolves, how she defines her own role within her family, and how she integrates the lessons she's learned from both her past and her present. For now, she remains focused on building a future that is shaped by her own choices, independent of the family structure she grew up in. As she adjusts to life with David, Isabel is carving out a new identity, one that embraces change, growth, and the endless possibilities of the future.